Yes, team, and welcome to Mindset Mastery episode 59. So this is going to be part of a 4-part series, which is going to be called Unbreakable Mindset, and it's going to be predominantly based around our thoughts, overthinking, stress, worry, and how to live a more peaceful life, which I'm going to break down into different sections. I'm really excited about this. So, overthinking has to be one of the hardest things to deal with in the world. I believe it is. So if you're watching this, comment overthinking below, or yes Lee, I struggle with this. It's always good for me to get feedback from you guys when you're watching the video. So either in the group, you can let me know in the private group, or you can let me know on YouTube. So have you ever laid in bed? Obviously you have. But laid in bed, overthinking a conversation, overthinking an event, overthinking the way somebody treated you, and you just cannot fucking stop thinking about it. It doesn't matter how hard you try. This has happened to me so many times, and it's normally for me when it's normally a very difficult conversation, or when someone's treated me in a way that I think is completely out of order, and I can't understand why they would treat another human like that, or some form of, it will be different for each person. It will probably be related to previous childhood traumas and that types of things, but essentially it's an event that makes you feel incredibly emotional, like you cannot stop thinking about it. I'm guessing you guys have experienced this too. So if it was a conversation, it can be anything along the lines of, why did they say that? Why did they cheat on me? Why did they treat me like that? Why did this happen? Why did this happen to me? Why did I say that? Oh my God, what did I say that for? Why can't I stop thinking about this? Why can't I just let it go? God, I bet they think I'm so stupid. Oh my God, I was such an embarrassment. Oh my God, I'm never going to be able to show my face in there. I'm sure they don't like me. I can't understand why they don't like me. Can you think of anything that I've done to upset them? Well, no, not really, but it's obvious they don't like me though, isn't it? You get it, right? This is why I actually did entitle this one, How to Stop Overthinking and Silence the Inner Chatter. I'm actually filming all of them. I started doing it into one of Lee's new 20-minute sessions. And I realised this was like 4 sessions worth of content here, so we shall continue. But this main one is going to be around this theme of overthinking, creating our own overwhelm, creating our own stress, creating our own worry, creating our own anxiety, and sometimes creating our own depression through the fact that we just cannot silence this inner chatter. We cannot stop overthinking the past, the present, or the future. So, as I said, building on from there, very often we're overthinking about the past and worried about it, or we're overthinking about the future, which tends to be fear, and we're really worried about it. Now, the reality is, as Mark Twain famously said, I've had a whole lot of worries in my life, most of them never happened. And most of the things that happened 5 years ago that you were worried about so deeply at the time, you can't even remember now, or they bear no resemblance in your life at this current stage. So all of this thinking, this worried about the future or worried about the past, is normally based upon very little evidence. So, and again, an example would be, to get this into context at the beginning, like, have you ever been in this situation where you've got these thoughts about a situation or a person normally, and they are absolutely destroying your life? You cannot stop thinking about it. You try everything, but yet you're laid in bed until 4 a.m. I've done this many times, worried about that exact thing, thinking about that exact thing, knowing that those thoughts aren't serving you and they're driving you around the bend and they're not even real. And if you're honest, it doesn't really matter, but you cannot fucking stop. And then you finally fall asleep, only to wake up 4 hours later. And what's the first thing you start thinking about? Well, the good thing about this is it works both ways. So if it's your goals, your dreams, your future, and you train your mind properly, then it will be the same. But unfortunately, for many of us, including me, that is not the road it leads down. It's the worries, it's the stresses, it's the anxieties, okay? And When you're in it and you can't stop, again, if you're watching on YouTube, comment soul destroying, because that's how it feels. It is soul destroying. Wanting so hard to stop thinking about something and let it go, but you literally can't. You're not alone. I struggle with this massively, and it's the most common mental trap that keeps most people stuck. But here's the twist. All of this happened many years before social media. Years and years and years and years and years before we were even here. In the Stoic ages, Marcus Aurelius wrote about it many, many times, which is what we're going to come on to some of his learnings as well. So today we're going to work on how to prevent this, or should I say reduce it, because we'll never prevent it, so that you can feel calm, clear, at peace, and more importantly, in control. Does that sound like a good plan? So this session is about mental clarity, and it's about self-mastery. It's learning to become proactive, not reactive. So we're learning to handle things before they happen, not waiting until they happen and then trying to understand how to handle it. Now, here is the big one in session 1 of 4. We cannot control the outer world, but we can always control the inner world. How many times in different scenarios have you heard me say that? It's not about the external motivation, it's about the internal motivation. If you've got chaos in your head, you'll always have chaos in your life. Like the outer world will always follow the inner world, which is a good thing because we can't control the outer world, but we can control the inner world. So when we can't control what's happening around us, but we can control how we respond to it and the meaning that we give to it, that's where the real power is. So if a relationship ends, the meaning you can give to it is, I'm useless, I must have been terrible in bed, I'm not good looking enough, I've not got enough money, she was way out of my league, X, Y, and Z, any of the crap that people say. Or I was never worthy of working for that company, or any of these things, you know, these negative thoughts that happen as a result of an event, and we give meaning to it. But again, that's in control. We can flip that straight away. This is the opening for a new beginning. She wasn't worthy of my love. I know my value and she didn't meet it, so I'm going to find someone who's going to respect my value. Okay, it's the meaning that we give to it, not the event. And the Stoics knew this. So let's dive in. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to some mental training. But as always, remember with these sessions, those of you who are absolute psychos and are all on session 59, you've done a lot of this. And you're going to do more, and you'll have to do it for the rest of your life to keep it up. But it's not just about watching these videos and feeling inspired. It's like reps. Look at them coming back now. Got half a bicep on this side. It's about putting it into work. It's about doing the reps to build the muscle, to build the car, to build the brain, to build the whatever. But then we need to drive the car, or we need to work the muscle. So we can't just, it's one of my biggest scourges at the minute. You can't just keep consuming personal development and reading 150 fucking self-help books that all give you the same message and not applying it in your life. That's like spending 20 years learning medicine and then never getting a job as a doctor or a surgeon. Fucking pointless, right? So we have to practice you have to practice what I'm going to teach you. You have to do the deep work. You can't just watch this, feel inspired, and then go back to being the same old Karen on Monday morning. So, as I said, we'll dive in. But mind strengthening takes actions, and it takes reps, and you have to practice these things. So, as I said, if you're on session 59, you're incredible. Don't think many people will be. And there's going to be some changes with this coaching in the new year. So, essentially, the new set that have been the professionally filmed ones, you guys will know here, we've come a long way since the Zoom days, will become the beginning of the course that will be split into sections. And then again, we're very much going to be starting afresh with video 1 of 52 for 2026. So again, we'll be starting with How to Thrive in 2026, and all of the videos from that are kind of, they're not outdated, but they're not going to fit in line. So like How to Thrive in 2025, for example, all of those, you're not going to lose them, don't worry. They'll stay on YouTube and they'll stay on the membership site, but they will be going into an archive so you can dig in when you want. And we'll be focusing on working from the new ones and building into new sections, especially like this, which is like these 4-part mini-series. I did a lot of work on this in Spain. I did quite a bit of work on this in Dubai when everyone else was asleep as well, just to kind of restructure things and keep things fresh for you guys. So as always, if you've got any struggles, any problems, any adversity, anything you need to get handled, let me know, because I will film a video on it. I guarantee I will be able to turn that into a whole subject, and you're helping the world grow and contribute, because if you're struggling with something, I guarantee someone else is. So, number 1, focus on only what you can control. You've heard me say this so many times. Control what you can, accept what you can't. If we focus on what we can't control, we'll feel weak and disempowered. If we focus on what we can control, we'll always feel strong and empowered. So overthinking, stress, worry and anxiety comes from obsessing over things that you can't change or things that you can't control. You can't control your partner or your ex-partner or your boss or your dog most of the times. Jan will disagree. She can control any dog in the world. But most people can't control the actions of others. They can't control the judgments, the opinions, and yet they over-obsess over them. So we have to control what we can and let go what we can't. It's usually a past experience, although sometimes it's not, and it's very often what other people think about us. You can't control that, right? I could save 1 million babies from dying. I could save the Queen's cat that got stuck in a tree. I don't know where that's come from. I could raise £5 million for charity, and there's still going to be a group of people that think I'm a fucking arsehole. They don't like me. They don't like anything that I stand for, and they want to pull me down on social media. That's just fucking life. Okay? You can't worry about things that you can't control. And always remember, other people's business, other people's opinions, other people's judgments is none of your business, okay? So we need to let go of what might happen tomorrow, because tomorrow might never come. And we need to let go of reliving what's already happened, because it's done, we can't control it and we can't change it. So peace starts when we draw a clear line between what we can control and what we can't. So the next time you're stressed, you're worried, you're overthinking, you're anxious about something, those are the questions that you need to ask. Well, what can I control? Well, we can control our actions, our words, our judgment, our attitude, and our effort. Remember, you're responsible for all of those because you control them. What can't we control? The past, the future, the press, the media, the world, other people's opinion, the outcome of events, the government. Why are so many people ranting about the government and the budget and everything else? Yeah, it's not fucking great. Is ranting about it going to make you feel any better? Can you control it? Can you change it? Is it bringing positive energy into your world that's going to move your life forwards? No. So let it go. I'm tempted to break into Frozen then, but I won't. That's let it go. So when your mind is spiraling out of control, and I know this happens to you guys because it happens to me, and I know most of us are battling the same struggles, which is why you always feel like I'm talking to you, because I'm talking to all of you, and we're all very much the same. So when it's spiraling out of control, when panic takes over, when worry takes over, when you're literally so anxious you feel like you're going to have a panic attack, pause and ask, is the thing I'm stressing about within my control? If the answer is no, breathe, change your environment and let it go. If the answer is yes, focus on one small action that you can take right now. What in previous trainings I've referred to as the logical next step. Not all of the things, not how do I fix the whole situation? How do I rebuild the entire relationship? One small thing I can do. So, for example, if you were worried about an interview, a presentation, a proposal, asking someone out, an awkward conversation, any of those things. Now, you can't control the other person's decision. You can't control the outcome. You can't control the response. You can't control whether you get the job or not. But what you can do is you can practice and rehearse your presentation one more time. You can go through your interview notes one more time. You can ask your partner to interview you on the questions that you think you're going to get asked so you can practice answering them. So that's what I can control. So that's what we have to focus on. And this shifts you from anxiety to empowerment. Anxiety focused on what I'm not in charge of and control of. Empowerment, only what I'm in charge of. So you can't control the action, but you can control how you show up. And be proud of taking the action. I had the confidence to walk across that garden centre in the middle of the afternoon to the lady with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, who I'd seen several times before, and I flat had the confidence to ask her out. Be proud of yourself for that action. Asking for the job, asking for the pay rise, having the balls to stand up for yourself, speaking in a meeting, any of those things. But be proud of yourself for doing the thing, not the outcome. Be proud of yourself for competing, even if you didn't win, because you took the action. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and several more. This training could go on forever. Action steps. So, number 1, when you get out of bed, as part of your journaling, which we're going to come on to, you should all be doing this every morning, and if you're not, you're a doofus, because you've heard it enough times on enough trainings. You have to gain control of your thoughts the second you get out of bed, okay, or they're going to destroy you, especially if you struggle with overthinking. So, when you get out of bed, write down one thing that's in your control and one thing you've been worried about that's not. Commit to focusing on the one thing that you can control or influence and letting go of the other one. If I actually created a journal that I wanted for you guys fully in the morning, I wouldn't, because I don't think anyone would do it. It would have so many questions. It would probably have upwards of 100 questions, because questions are the steering wheel of the mind. So that is one that you can add in to the ones that you should already have, some of which will be personal. So number 2, action step 2 is, and you can see, sorry to go back to action step 1, you can see how straight away that's going to lead your mind to what I can control, not what I can't control. Confidence, not anxiety. Empowerment, not weakness. So, action step 2, zoom out. If I was really clever with editing, I would have got the camera to zoom out. But I can't do that. I can't even edit my mistakes out. I'm learning though. So, overthinking happens when we are too emotionally attached to the event. It's what we make the comment mean. Someone just made a comment. So fuck, whatever. Is it true? No. Am I bothered? No. Can I change it or control how they're feeling? No. Let it go. But yet, why do we think about it for days, weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years? People, oh, do you remember when so-and-so said that about me in fucking 1998? And no one gave a fuck then, and no one gives a fuck now, and no one's going to give a fuck in another 10 years. Right? Let it go. But how we zoom out is what removes the emotional attachment. So this is one of the best ever action steps for doing this as well. If your best friend was in the exact same situation, zoom out, right? Pop them in your place. What would you say to them? What would you advise them? Would you say, oh yeah, you really need to be really worried about what she said, because it's clearly true, and all those things about you are real, and it's got nothing to do with the fact that she's a bitter, judgmental cow, and you should really just sit there fucking worrying about this for a few more days because it's clearly serving you. You wouldn't. You'd go, mate, like, she's not important, he's not important. Let it go. Bigger fish to focus on. Let's go. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to focus on what's happened, or do you want to focus on what you want to have happen? You wouldn't talk to yourself like you talk to your best friend, is what I'm saying. Okay, but it's hard because when we're in the moment emotionally as a result of the event or the comment, you know, especially with ADHD and like rejection dysmorphia syndrome and sensitivity, someone can probably make a pretty off the hand comment that they didn't even really mean. You feel like you've been stabbed in the heart. That probably just made a really horrible loud bang. I'm sorry. But you have to let it go because normally it wasn't about you. And, you know, you wouldn't, if it was your best friend who you were advising when they asked you that question, you wouldn't, even though it feels like the end of the world at the time because it's so emotional to you, like you wouldn't advise them to keep thinking about it or be worried about it. But it's very, very hard when you're in the moment. So again, this is why we need to pause. This is why we need to breathe. What does it really mean? Is it really about me? I wonder what she's got going on in her life to be reacting like that. Make sense? So zoom out and reframe it. Don't make everything about you. Action step 3 is train yourself to live in the present moment. This is the fucking hardest thing in the world to do. When you're with your kids, when you're with your partner in bed tonight at 9-10 o'clock, are you just truly present with them? Or are you thinking about tomorrow, what you need to do at work, what she said earlier, what he said earlier, what happened last week, the money you don't have, the bills that's coming out? You're not. When you're present in the moment, you can't be worried. It's the same as when I coach on grief counselling. Like, you can't be celebrating magic memories with someone who's died and being sad at the same time. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. It's why gratitude is so important. So train yourself to be in the present because, in prison, not there again, in the present, because overthinking drags you into past events that no longer matter, or it launches you into a fear of the future that you don't control. So anxiety is predicting a negative outcome of the future based on no evidence, as I said. Confidence is predicting a positive outcome of the future based on no evidence. As I said, Mark Twain's quote, I've had a whole lot of worries in my life, most of them never happen. So another great grounding exercise within this is we all also have this belief that at midnight tonight, Sunday, we're all going to be granted another 24 hours from the bank of life. And it's absolutely not true. You, I, anyone watching this could wake up dead tomorrow morning. I know people that it's happened to. No freak accident, no freak illness, just died in their sleep. Had an aneurysm or something. It happens. There's someone that will be killed, multiple people will be killed in car accidents on their way to work tomorrow morning. It's real. So again, use that to ground yourself. If you knew that you only had 7 days to live, would you really be worried about what fucking Karen in accounts said last week? Would you be holding on to that memory of the past that you're still angry at your partner about? Or would you be appreciating every second with them? Would you be going around judging people? Or would you be grateful and telling people how you love them? So live like that. Live like every day is the last day of your life in the present. Live like this is the last week. How would you be living this week if it was the last week of your life? Because it's not guaranteed, right? The only moment, boom, that probably did that on the mic again, sorry again, that we truly own is right now. And that's where your fucking power lies, right now. Not what can you do tomorrow, not what happened yesterday. What can you do right now? And you only need to live one day at a time to achieve the most amazing things. And when you give your full attention, like practice it tonight. Have a chat with the hubby, the wife, the significant other, or the dog, or the cat, or the goldfish, or the unicorn. And just be present with them. Like, I find this so hard, guys, because my mind goes so fast, you know it does. And I overthink just like you guys do. But, you know, when I finish recording this and set it upload, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to be present with Logan for an hour. I'm not thinking about work, messages, phone's in aeroplane mode, so we can still play Roblox, and just being present. Because When you're in the present moment, it's very difficult to be worried about being anything. But as I said, reps, it takes practice. So you have to practice being present, okay? So when your mind starts racing again and it's going fucking crazy, like mine does every day, pause, think about one thing that you can do right now. What's the logical next step? Well, I could move. I've had 3 cold showers this weekend when my mind wasn't in a good place, so I went and jumped in a cold shower. You will never get out of a cold shower the same person you went in. I'm going to come on to some more on that, on how doing difficult things can stop overthinking. Change your environment. Put some music on. Who's ever been in the car and you've been in a foul mood thinking about everything, and then you put a 90s banger piano classic on with some big cheesy balls vocals, and all of a sudden you're singing along and you're having the time of your life and remembering when you were having it large on the dance floor at Love to Be in 2006. Call a friend. Go and speak to someone. Meditate. Do some mindset. Anything that pulls you out of that storm that's in your head, use it. Because sitting there thinking about the storm that's in your head, which is related to the past or the future, isn't going to let the storm go. Okay? Action step 4, and this is a mental exercise that the Stoics used. I watched a video on this and it's phenomenal, called The View from Above. So, the view from above creates distance and it creates perspective. And it's what they used to rule Rome. It's what Marcus Aurelius used. So, sit back now. Hold your fingers like this. Put some dolphin... No, I'm joking. Just lay back and close your eyes. And just start to raise out of your body. Lift out of your body. Lift above your body. And then lift above your house. And then your town. And then your country. And then see the entire world. And everything that's going on within it. In all the different countries. All those third world countries. All of a sudden, does your problem feel bigger? Or does it feel smaller? Now, this doesn't mean it's not real. And it's not consuming and it's not difficult. It will be. That isn't going to rid you. But again, from that zoomed out view from above, look back on the last 5 years of your life. Was what you were worried about in 2020 serving you now? Did it change the trajectory of your life? Or was it just an emotionally attached moment at that time? And in 5 years, do you think you'll be so worried or so stressed about what you're worrying about now or ranting about? Do you think anyone's going to give a fuck about Rachel Reeves in 5 years? Or Keir, what's his fucking cunting name? Or any of them? Or the cost of living crisis? Or any of the things that people worry and stress about? Immigration? There's other thoughts serving you. Are you going to be thinking about it in 5 years? No. Okay? So why worry about it now? Because you might not be here in 5 years. So I very much doubt anything that emotionally happened 5 years ago you still attach now. And I very much doubt that anything that's happening now you'll still be overthinking and worried about in 5 years' time. The person, like you guys know this, right? Like I was vilely attacked by a person this year, verbally. Real fucking nasty shit. I'm talking shit that could nearly have gone to court for slander. Completely uncalled for, completely untrue, complete sack of lies. And it consumed my thoughts and my life. I would go to say as far as it ruined part of my life for 4 to 5 weeks. I couldn't get it out of my head because I couldn't create the distance that I needed from the situation. Not worried about it now. It was only, 6, 7 weeks ago. Do you think I'll be worried about it in 5 years? Do you think I'll even remember it? I'll even remember the person? Probably not. And in fact, Nat brought this up. There was, several situations in the past when we've had really nasty situations on social media. And I can't even, the person 5 years ago who hoped that I had a heart attack and died, I can't even remember his name. But in the moment when I was emotional, it was destroying my life. Thought it was going to affect business. He was saying really fucking horrible things on social media that weren't true, they were lies. So, there we go. You know, the debt problems that you had 5 years ago, do you remember them now? You get what I'm saying, right? I'm going over the point, but I want you to remember this massively, because it doesn't mean, this zooming out thing, right? Doesn't mean that your current thoughts, worries and struggles are meaningless and not real. They are. But what it means is they're measurable. They're manageable by zooming out and making them smaller. So always ask that question. This is another world-class question to put in your journal. Will what I'm thinking or worrying about now really matter in 5 years? I very much doubt the answer is going to be yes. So that concludes part 1 of how to handle overthinking and silence the inner chatter, which is part of a 4-part Unbreakable Mindset series. I've started filming this and it went on way too long, so I haven't completely got all the titles for you yet, but it's going to be a real special little 4-part mini-series that when we're overthinking, when we've got chaos in our head, when everything's spiralling, that we can go to. So just to give you a bit of an example, in parts 2, 3 and 4, we're going to be looking at grounding rituals. We're going to be looking at how to reframe your thoughts with reason. We're going to be looking at some cognitive behavioural therapy. We're going to be looking at the meaning that you give to events and how to shift it. We're going to be looking at the difference between perception and facts. We're going to look at the difference between toxic positivity and stoic wisdom. We're going to look at journaling for clarity. I've got a thing in my head now that I need to create a new journal with 100 questions on it. Comment 100 if you think that would be a good idea. Journaling for clarity. The pen is mightier than the sword. How to stop being your thoughts and start observing them. Accepting discomfort, uncertainty and change. Embracing and choosing pain. Rewiring the brain. You see where I'm going now? Training a disciplined mind. A 5-minute bulletproof morning and evening routine. And how to understand you have the power over your mind, but not events. So yeah, there's a lot in these other parts. Might not even be 4 parts. That was what I was actually going to try and include all of that into this training until I realised that was completely ridiculous and unrealistic. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope it hit home. Drop any comments, drop any struggles. You've all got my email, you've all got my mobile number. If there's something on your mind, drop it over and I will build a training around it. Guys, I love you all. Don't forget to send me your invites. Don't forget to comment when you've watched it. Don't be the person who watches it and doesn't comment. Definitely don't be the person who doesn't watch it. But if you are the person who doesn't watch it, you'll never know that you're not that person because you're never going to get to this point. Guys, I love you all. Have a mint week.